Yeah, everybody. I just wanted to touch base again and go over a few of the things that we talked about on Monday. Uh, it- Primarily about making the luminance masks and really the idea of going to black and white and what we can do inside of there. I'm going to do a couple extra videos inside this too about dodging and burning and a few of the color modifications that we've talked about too. So let's start off, go into Photoshop and let us look at that image again. And so with that, let's talk about what we did to begin with. We looked at the image and we said, there's a few things inside of here that I want to bring out. One was the fact that, we went to black and white with this. And so with the black and white, we're looking more at uh, the objective facts of what was there. The ruddiness of his skin, the scraggliness of his beard. We dropped the background out of the shot. We, you know, didn't really care about the jacket dropping away so much as being able to see it. The fact that we can see bowing on it is a good thing. So a few of the details that we needed to keep in place. But to do that, we went to and made the initial black and white conversion. So there it is. And then I'll come over here and I think what I did is we lowered the red value down a little bit. And maybe drop the yellow just a bit because there's a lot of street light in there. Play with that green value just a little bit, see if we can't pull a little bit of the detail forward. Okay, since we dropped red, we're going to pull cyan in the opposite direction. See what happens there. That might help us out just a little bit. And then, the blue. Ooh, look at this right here. Watch right here as I pull that blue. This is bad. Whenever you start to add something like that, not to do it. So actually what we can do is we can pump that up just a little bit. It's going to make a brighter highlight, but at the same time, it's going to also keep it from damaging, which is, a problem you have with the blue channel a lot of times. So you have to pay attention to that. We can actually diminish that with the magenta just a little bit. Don't get, I can't let it get too pixelated. All right, so that's pretty good. Let's look at it. Just gonna turn this on and off. Okay, let's preview the actual adjustment. Okay, and I'm getting a little more of what I want. I want more detail in the face. I want the richer tones to show up. I didn't want those highlights to pop off his face quite as much. And so like I can go back in and maybe reintroduce some of them just to get there. But really what I want to do is I want to just infer a little more contrast into this. Okay, and the reason that I want to infer it is, remember that if we add dark to something, things that are light are going to relatively look lighter, as opposed to if we add lightness to something, things that are dark are also probably going to pull to light. So it's the idea of like brightness brightens the whole thing, whereas darkness saturates and creates contrast. Okay. Sometimes adding lightness will make a shadow seem darker, but we'll explore that more in classes to come. So from here, what I want to do is I want to make sure that I can get that black and white tone in the right place, and maybe even add a little more richness to it. Okay, so what I want to do is, first off, let's add another adjustment layer, and I'll do it from over here this time. And let's just add a brightness contrast layer, okay? Because I don't use this one very much, and what I want to do with this is I want to just add some darkening, because, or actually some contrast, because when we darkened it, it dropped this away back here, but I think I kind of like it a little bit more with maybe a soft light or even an overlay. Oh yeah, that way I can still see a little bit of the form of the building. It's a little bit distracting, but at the same time, I like it. I think it adds a little bit of atmosphere to the image. And so now that I have that there, I can go in and I can use my layer mask like we have in the past. Grab the brush, and use my right bracket to make my brush a little bit bigger. Make sure that I had the hardness all the way down. That way I get that nice feathered brush. I'm just going to paint away that area inside of him because I don't want him to go away. I want him to be fully present inside the image. Okay, and so that takes a few seconds. I could be a lot cleaner, but it would take a lot of the video to do that. Okay, so now that I have this here, I'm just going to make two more quick, actually, I think that looks good. I'm going to leave his fingers a little bit darker. All right, so I brought him back. So if we look at that, if I shift click on the mask, I can turn it on and off. So that brings him back, and he still has that, but the addition of that darkness behind him makes him come forward, but we still get the idea of the city being behind him, which I like. Okay, now